Good afternoon and welcome to my Facebook Live today. My name is Michelle Dutrissa and I'm an independent demonstrator in the Southern Highlands with Stampin' Up. As I said, I'm in the Southern Highlands just below Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. Sorry, my mind, I haven't been the greatest the last few days, so please excuse me. So what I thought we'd do today is yesterday I received my pre-order. Being a Stampin' Up demonstrator, we can order and receive our product prior to the catalogue being released and to the general public. So this is one of the perks of becoming a demonstrator. So if you're interested and want to know more, please let me know. I'm just going to flip the camera over so I can show you some of these products that I've received. I can't show you the catalogue, but just bear with me one moment and I'll flip this camera. Okay, let me just very quickly, I haven't found us on my, I'm sort of doing things a little bit back to front today. I'm sorry, I've had a bit of a headache for the last couple of days. So let me just see if I can find us. Yes, I have. Okay, let me just pop that over there. Sorry about that. Okay, please, if you're visiting, hi Robin, how are you? Please say hello and where you're from. Love to get to know you a little bit more. Okay, so now first off I wanted just to let you know our designer series paper sale is still on. Okay, it's on from all of July, so up until the 2nd of August you can purchase any of these papers. There's 9 papers here that they've put in the sale and you can get them with 15% off. So if you're interested in that and you're here in Australia, just head over to my website, which is at michelledutrissa.stampinup.net, and go to shop, and you'll find in the sale, but under the sale button, all these papers that you can purchase. Some really nice ones there. Now also too, as I said, we have our mini catalogue and our celebration catalogue being released very soon. Now on our mini catalogue it says it's released in July, but that was put back due to getting some of the products because of COVID. It sort of held us up a little bit. So our mini catalogue actually starts now in August. So you can, if you don't have a demonstrator and you would like a copy of the mini catalogue, please let me know if you're here in Australia and I can send one out to you. Hi Annie, how are you? Please say hi and let us know where you're from. Also, our celebration catalogue starts on the 3rd of August. This year we're running the celebration catalogue twice throughout the year. So we had it earlier in the year, and now we're going to have it again, and that'll go from the 3rd of August to the 30th of September. The way the celebration catalogue works, you order any products from either our mini catalogue or from our annual catalogue to the value of $90, and then you can get to choose something in the celebration catalogue for free. So how about that, getting something for free? Now, if you spend $180, okay, you can get 2 products for free, but there are some products within the celebration catalogue that you need to spend $180 to get. So just have a look when you do get these catalogues. Go through it carefully. And just be aware that there's some products in there, or majority of products in there you can get for $90 when you spend $90, but there are the odd 2 or 3 that you do need to spend $180. Now, as I said, unfortunately I can't show you because I can't open these catalogs to show you until they are released. But what I can do is, yesterday I received some of my pre-order. Now, I've only ordered a few products just to get me started, and I thought I'd share them with you today. So let me move these out of the road for the moment. pop them over there. And I'm going to start off with by showing you a product from our mini catalogue. Now I just want to check the name. I'm just going to have a look here at the side, and it's called Blackberry Beauty. Now generally, as a rule, because here in Australia we don't celebrate Thanksgiving as you do in America and maybe other parts of the world, but these actually really appealed to me. And I suppose they appealed to me because I love Blackberry Bliss. It's one of my favourite colours, though I don't get a chance to use it very often. But I also thought that this range here could be used for other things besides Thanksgiving, and I really loved it. It is a specialty range. So let me just go through, and I'll start off with by showing you the stamp set. It's a beautiful stamp set. Lots of beautiful detail in it, lovely fonts in the words. You know, it just really appealed to me, so I thought that was gorgeous. Now it also comes with a set of dies, and here are the dies here. Let me get these out so you can have a look. So when you get these dies, this one's got quite a few dies in it, but it's got this beautiful intricate die here of just all these lovely leaves, and I just thought that would be such a beautiful background for anything that you wanted to do with the stamps, or you know, even just having that with maybe a sentiment on there somewhere. But it also has a couple of extra leaf dies, and then some outline dies that coordinate with our stamp set. So it'll coordinate. It cuts out this piece here, and it also cuts out the bird and this lovely little one here. So the dies really appealed to me as well. So I'm going to have fun with those, I think. Also in this set, they've got your 12 by 12 papers. Now I've cut my papers down, but it's just to make it easier for me to show, but it does come in 12 by 12. So these are some of the reasons why I really love this paper, because I really love this colour, and with that beautiful gold accent on it. So it is a specialty paper. So you've got, let me just remove that for the moment so you can see, you've got that beautiful one, the one with the birds on it, some more leaves, again with that lovely gold accent. This one has got owls on it. And here's a beautiful one again with a lot more gold. And then this one. This is one of those ones that you have got on the 12 by 12 sheet. You've got this design coming from one side and then the same design again coming from the other. So you will need to cut this down the middle and then cut it into sections. And if we flip these over, you'll see the other coordinating colours. So some really lovely coordinating prints that go with the designs on the other side. So that's their designer series paper they've brought out for this suite. They've also got this lovely shimmery gold vellum, and I really think that that's going to be really lovely when you die cut that using this beautiful big die. I think that could be really nice as an accent behind things. So that could be quite interesting to have a play with. Now with the vellum, you get in the pack is two 12 by 12 sheets. Just remember, I have cut this down so they're 12 by 12 or 30 inch, 12 by 12 inches or 30 by 30 centimeter square sheets. So you get that also in that suite. Now you can purchase any of these individually. You don't have to purchase the whole suite. Also in this suite, they've got an ephemera pack. So let me open this up just so I can show you. So this is what comes in the pack. You've got these lovely frames and tags and some lovely labels there. You've also got some really lovely die cut pieces here that you could use. You know, put a sentiment on that tag just there. There's 2 sheets of that one. So you've got 2 of everything. So basically you've got 1, 2, then you've got 2 sheets of that one, and then this one here is all in gold with your lovely tags again, and some really lovely gold accent pieces, and you've got 2 sheets of that one as well. So I think I'm going to have a bit of fun playing with that. And as I said, not necessarily doing Thanksgiving cards because we don't actually celebrate Thanksgiving here, but I'm sure I can find other uses for that. And also too, with that comes in the suite is this lovely gold ribbon. Now let me just see if I can open it up. I might have to get my scissors into here so I can show this to you. Oops, doesn't want to open for me. Let's see how we go this time. Oh, it really does not want to cooperate today, does it? It's like a lurex type ribbon. If you know what a lurex thread is, it's sort of got a lot of metallicness to it. I'm not going to let this beat me today. They've sealed this one up really well. Okay, so there it is there. So it's a lovely lurex, and it's actually quite soft, so quite pliable, which is good. And I'm sure we could even strip that a little bit if we take this. I'm not sure if this is how this is going to work, but let's give it a go. If you tie a knot in the middle, we should have cut a little bit bigger. And if I pull that thread out, saw this in the catalogue and I thought, I wonder if this is how this was done, and I think it was. So you can make quite a nice accent piece by just pulling out that thread that goes across. You could do both sides of it. Just have to be a little bit, but you can, as you can see there, that could be quite nice underneath an accent as well. So there you go. So that's that particular suite that I received. So let me pop that to one side and let me pull in the next one. Now the next one is called Harvest Meadow. Again, another one probably more for your Thanksgiving in America, but I thought there's something I could do with this one as well. So this is the stamp set that's in Harvest Meadow, and the stamp set's called Nature's Harvest, and got some beautiful images here of some flowers, a little bit of a background stamp, and some beautiful sentiments, which I think will come in handy, not just even just for Thanksgiving, but I mean you could split some of these up. This one here, a reminder to never forget how much you mean to me and to many others. And I was also thinking earlier I could probably even just leave off the many others and just use that. And you've also got your thank you and your good luck. Some really nice stamp set there. And also again, this one comes with a dies, so you can die cut that one out. And let me just show you these dies. So these dies have got very similar to ones we've got in our annual catalogue, where you've got these beautiful silhouette dies, and I haven't purchased them as yet. So when I saw these I thought, oh, now this could be quite interesting working those two sets together. So you've got 4 silhouette type dies here. Then you've got the die here that cuts out this flower here. Hi Sharon, how are you? And you've also got this die which cuts out this little flower arrangement here, and then 2 other dies for cutting out your sentiments. And this is a set I thought we might have a play with this morning. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to be making. I like to try some of these things out before I show you live, but today we're going to be winging it a little bit. So that's going to be interesting for me. So let me just pop that aside and let me show you what else is in this suite. You've also got an embossing folder. Now, I did actually emboss this so I can have a look. And that's your embossing folder. Now, I'm not quite sure whether you can actually see that. It's a mixture of words and probably this type of image here. So I'm hoping you can see it. So you sort of have it's a very sort of mottled, you know, like the words you probably you might be able to pick out 1 or 2 words, but it's not a definite like sentence or words. It's just you've got like a text underneath with this sort of effect on top of it. So I think it's actually quite interesting, a very natural sort of thing, which goes very well with this theme. Now, this also comes with a range of designer series paper. Again, it's 12 by 12, and I've just cut it down to make it a little bit easier for me to show you. So you have got, okay, all these beautiful colors. So you've got your Calypso Coral, you've got your Bumblebee, you've got your Crumb Cake, your Misty Moonlight, and your Soft Succulent, and again another piece in like your Misty Moonlight. And if we flip all these over, whoops, we don't need that piece there. They're your beautiful colours as well. And I really, the blues, actually, the Misty Moonlight blues are my favourite colour. I'm just drawn to blue. Anything in blue, and I will be saying I like that. But I also love this soft succulent colour as well. So I think these 3 are going to be very, or 4 actually, going to become very popular with me, I think. And I think this is what's drawn me so much to this particular suite. So that's those, but it also comes with, you can purchase, or comes with the suite, a pack of 2 sheets. Again, it's a 12 by 12 sheets of cork. Now, this is like a very, very thin layer of cork, and they've actually popped it onto like a brown backing on it, so that you wouldn't use that side. That's your wrong side. This is definitely your right side, and it is real cork. I sort of, when I saw it in the catalogue, I wondered whether it was just going to be like a photographed image, but it's not. It's actually cork. So that's going to be really interesting to work with. And I thought today we might even see if we can die cut it and see how that works. In the catalogue, they've made a frame out of it, but yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a play. As I said, I'm not quite sure whether what we're going to try today is going to work or not, but we'll give it a go. So there's also 2 sheets of that in the pack as well. Now you've also got this lovely ribbon, like a cottagey type ribbon. And let me grab my scissors and let's see if I can open this one up a lot easier. It's not as fine a roll, so I should be able to get my scissors, even if my finger's in there, easier. Let's just see. That's better. No problems with opening that one. So you've got that really nice cotton lace, and that again really lends itself to that real natural tones of all the papers and everything. Also in this suite, you've got the brushed metallic adhesive back dots. So you've got it in 3 different, like a gold, copper, and probably almost a bronze type of colouring. So they'll be fun to add to this as well, as a little bit of a bling to it. So one more thing actually before I'm going to start on this card, but let's just pop these out to one side. And as I said, we also have our celebration, and I did get a couple of celebration products, and I thought very quickly show you these. This is a designer series paper, so I had to spend $90 to get this designer series paper, and this coordinates with the hand penned designer series papers. So it's called, oh, I'm sorry, I can't even remember now what it's called. Let me just have a quick look. I'm going to take this out of the road so you can't see it. It's called Beautifully Penned. So it coordinates really well with the hand penned. And if we flip that over, there are your other designs. So you can easily colour this one in if you wanted to colour it in. Remember, this design is in the hand penned, but it's in the yellow. So if you wanted to sponge that, you could sponge that for another colour. And I don't think the spotted one is in there. It might be actually in the papaya. I'm going to have trouble, always have trouble with that one. So you could sponge those if you wanted to make, use different colors. So I think this is going to be fun. I love actually black and white because you can color it in, and you with your pencils or with your blends or with your sponges or your blender brushes, and create some really lovely backgrounds. Now this also comes in a 12 by 12, but with this one here you've got only your 6 designs, so there's 3 different sheets. Remember, 1 on each side, but you get 4 of each one. So really nice to actually blend this one with this pack here. You could I think do some really nice stuff with it. So I'm looking forward to playing with that. And the other product I got is the Delicate Dahlias. Now the Delicate Dahlias, I needed to spend $180 to get this one for free. And you've got some really beautiful images. You've got your drawn images, and then you have your images that are oh golly, I'm sorry, my head is just not really in this today. The distinctive images, so that will give you, so you only need the 1 stamp and 1 ink pad to get different variations of color within what you're stamping, but you can easily stamp this and stamp that over the top to give you that extra detail. So another beautiful fun stamp set to use, and these I got for free for when I spent $180 for this one and $90 for the designer series paper. So keep an eye out for all of those starting in August. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's just put all of this to one side, and we're going to bring in this stamp set, and we're going to have a play. Now I've sort of decided a little bit on what I wanted to do. Now the colors that coordinate with all of this, I did mention them before, but these are them here, except you've also got Crumb Cake, which I haven't pulled out. So you've got Misty Moonlight, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Soft Succulent, and also Crumb Cake. And just to show you those in all the cardstock, because I've pulled out all the cardstock, there's your Crumb Cake, your Bumblebee, Soft Succulent, Misty Moonlight, and your Calypso Coral. So I've already cut and embossed this piece here in my Crumb Cake. So we're going to start with that, and we're going to add some designer series paper, maybe a little bit of stamping. Let me just pop that to one side. Now, as I said, I've got a bit of an idea, but I haven't completely decided exactly what we're going to do. And I'm not quite sure how the cork is going to cut if I die cut it. I don't know if it's going to fall apart, which it could very well happen. So I'm going to use the silhouette dies. So let me just pop that stamp set to one side. And we're going to see what we can come up with. And I'm actually, because there's no stamp that goes with these to fill in all the details, I've thought what I might do is cut these out using the designer series paper. So my plan at the moment is to use the crumb cake maybe as my base, with my crumb cake that I've actually embossed already, and then we're going to cut out some of these pieces. Now I'm making a little bit of a mess here, so let me just move all these around. I generally do work in a mess. I'm not the most tidiest worker as a crafter, and so this is probably more to my normal than what you would normally see. So I'm going to use my mini die cut machine here, and I've got my plates, and we're going to start off with, and I might start by cutting our cork. So we need to cut this down a little bit more because it is a little bit wide. So let me just bring in my trimmer, and let's just take that down to about, let's have a look. That's the die I thought we might use, and it's only around about 2.5 inches wide. So we only need a piece that's about 2.5. Okay, so this is either going to work or not work. Now let me just work out the other pieces, and I can cut all them down. So this one here, I thought we might cut. So that die is going to go to that one. This one here, I thought we might do on this one. Just remember too, when you're cutting these designer series paper, they have got a one-way direction. If you actually look at this piece here, you sort of have like a stem and leaves coming out, but the point of where the leaves all meet at the bottom makes a V. So what I've done is I've treated that as a one-way direction. So I've really looked at my designer series paper before I've cut it out into basically Kylie's Love It, Chop It, and so I haven't cut it, and I've thought about which way I'm going to use it. Generally when I do Love It, Chop It for myself, I only cut one sheet at a time, so you've got 2 of each sheet, but I only cut one at a time, so then I can use the other one if I want to use it for scrapbooking. This one here, you can see very definitely it has got a one-way direction, so you would actually cut it if you're going to have a photo which is, or card which is portrait, then you need to make sure your paper is cut portrait. If you want to do a card that's going to be landscape, then you've got to turn it around and cut it the other direction. And this is another reason why I usually only cut one sheet of my designer series paper at a time, because I might cut the whole sheet going in this way, but if I'm doing a landscape card, it allows me with the second sheet to be able to turn it around and cut it with these going in the other direction. Again, this one here is a one-way direction designer series paper. Also to check the back of them, because there was a couple like this one here could be considered as one way, because you've got wording underneath going across, and you've got this sort of like it almost looks like a coral it's just branches, basically tree branches, but they're all going in one direction. But this side here you can cut in any direction you want to go. And it's the same with the other pack of Designer Series paper. Really just check both sides of your paper before you cut it. Again, this one here is a one-way direction. This one here could go two ways. So and this one doesn't really matter either way. So before you start cutting into your Designer Series paper, have a good look at what direction it is, and a little bit of a think about how you predominantly make your cards. I know I'm probably about 80% of my cards are a portrait type card. So yeah, I probably could go through and cut everything in that portrait, but I like to leave myself that scope of either leaving one sheet for either going into scrapbooking or if I want to cut it the other way. So I hope that's helped you a little bit. Now this one here is probably around about, not quite 2 inches, it's probably about 1 3/4 inches, so I'm going to cut that one about there. And I suppose another reason why I think about direction of your paper when you're cutting it is the fact that I am actually a sewer. That's what my training is. And yeah, and I'm used to looking at things and looking for a direction. But it's just something, if you're not a sewer and you don't really realise it, it's probably a good thing to think about. Now I'm just trying to decide which one. That one looks a little bit thorny. Just don't know. I want a little bit of colour. I sort of like that one. And I'm thinking I might go that one on that. Okay, so that one also can be cut down at 1 3/4 inches. And that will fit onto there. And that one, I tend to like the blue for that one. Okay, so that one looks like another one, which could be 1 3/4. Ooh, probably could cut that one a little bit bigger. We might just use that other piece. Yep, that's better. That's a bit bigger than 1 3/4, probably closer to 2. Okay, let me just pop that out of the road. Let's bring in this mini. As I said, we're just winging it today. So let's layer all of this up. And pop that through. Check that that's cut through, yes. Grab our next one. So this is going to make a very easy and simple card without having to do a lot of stamping, I hope. Sorry, I've got my paper underneath and that's causing a little bit of movement in my die cutting machine. Let's pop that one on there. The last one we've got to do is that cork, and as I said, that's going to be interesting to see because it is a fairly fine die, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to go, but I didn't want it to be something dark that was going to just go at the back of the other pieces. Okay, so let's just see how that one, perhaps might help if I line all this up better. See how this goes through. So let's see if this has worked. So far so good. That's what's going to happen once we pop this out of. It's coming out. And that's actually worked out really, really well. So I'm going to cut another one of those. So I'm pleased actually how well that was going to go, because it all depends on how well they've adhered that cork, that thin sheet of cork, to the backing paper that they've used. Okay, so let's move that out of the road. This is fairly delicate. It's very, very light, because it's a lot lighter than your cardstock. So you do want to take that out of the die very gently. That looks fantastic. I'm really pleased with that, because I really did not know how that was going to go. Okay, so let's have a look at some of our other pieces. So I've got this piece here that looks like wheat. That one. And then we have this one here. And they've all cut really, really well. So let's have a look. There's our card base, which I've cut at 10.5 by 29.9 and scored that at 14.9. Then I have my piece here that I've already embossed, and what I've cut this at was 10 by 14.4, but then I've torn a section off down the side. I've probably torn about 1.5 to 2 centimeters off there, because what I thought we'd just do is we would pop that onto there and then layer some of these. So it's a little bit like doing a bit of a flower arrangement really, but I wanted that in my background. We'll wait and see whether we want 1 or 2, then probably that over the top maybe. Now, do we want, is that going to be too much? I'm wondering. There's not a lot of definition between those two. This is where I tend to like to play a little bit and then just sort of see what I come up with. Wondering if there's too much in that. Simplify this a little bit more. Maybe take that out since I've got the blue underneath. Okay, so let's just not quite sure yet. I might just stamp a sentiment, and we might stamp that maybe using a little bit of that. Is it going to be too much of that? Maybe a bit of white. So this is my scrap bag. I've got lots and lots of scraps here. Grab the stamp set. Okay, so which sentiment can we use? Any ideas? What stamp set? Which sentiment? So we've got thank you, good luck. I might just make it really simple and do a thank you, I think. So we need to put the backing on. So I need a block. I'll use this block here. I've just got to take that stamp off there. And this is the way I put my stickers onto the back of my blocks. I've just taken peeled the printed sticker that goes onto your back of your stamp off, and I've adhered that down, the cling side down to a block, and I'm now just peeling off the back. I find this helps me get a much better, smoother, if I'm trying, connection between the two of these. And then I pop my stamp upside down, so I've taken the backing off that, and I'm just going to line those up. And what happens, especially when you've got bigger stamps, is your sticker is actually flat. You don't get that. Sometimes I found that by doing it the other way, where I put the stamp to the sticker rather than the sticker to the stamp, sometimes my sticker stretches a little bit and I get slight curve in my stamp. This way everything's nice and flat. So now I'm just going to pop this back on my block again. I'm just lining it up nice and straight. Hopefully I can line that up straight. And I've got some Mento Black here. I think I'll use that one. Just ink that up. It's a beautiful font, this one. Let's hold that down for a couple of seconds. Just let that ink adhere to my cardstock. Lovely. And now I just need my dies again. There they are. Just pop them up there. And I want this little one. Going to just pop that to one side, bring that in again, move that over there. Line up my die on top of my sentiment, making sure everything stays nice and straight. Run that through. I love my little mini die cut emboss machine. It's just really great for these small jobs. Pop that to one side. Okay. So I think I want something that's going to look a little bit like that. Now, how am I going to... Now I've cut just about, it's about 5.5 inches there. So that's, let me have a look at my centimetres. That's around almost just under 15 centimetres in the ribbon. And I'm just going to fold that in half. And then I've got some linen thread somewhere, because I did pull that out so I could have it handy. And the question is, where did I pop that? There it is. And what I want to do is I want to being fairly generous here with my linen thread. I've probably given myself around about half a metre. And I'm going to just run my finger just down that a few times, just to take out a lot of those kinks, just to straighten it up. Oops, that's that bit of ribbon I pulled apart earlier. So I'm just going to fold that in half. And what I want to do is just tie that around that ribbon. Might bring that down a little bit further. Don't want to come down too much. And then I'm going to tie a bow. So I've just done a double bow. So by folding my linen thread in half, I just wanted to have a little bit of thickness there, because that ribbon is very thick, and so you don't want to have something that's too fine and going to get lost. I wanted something that's going to stand out a little bit. I'm just going to grab those tails and just trim them off. You could separate those bows a little bit if you wanted to, just to give that. And I'm going to trim this ribbon. I want it at an angle, but not too much of an angle, because this sort of ribbon doesn't really like to be cut at an angle too much, because it's the way it's been made. So you wouldn't necessarily with this ribbon cut out a V out of it or anything like that. It'll naturally do it itself. But I just wanted that at a little bit of an angle there, because what I want to do is have that coming there like that, and I think that coming from underneath. Okay, so we've got a bit of an idea, so I need to do a bit of trimming. I do like to have that at the back, so I think it just takes, gives a little bit of difference between the two. So I'm going to adhere that onto there. I just need some multi-purpose glue. You're really seeing today how my sometimes funny brain works when it comes to making cards. I don't necessarily have everything worked out, and I tend to play with stuff a lot and always yell out to my husband to say, come and have a look, tell me what you think, before I actually glue everything down. Now I'm going to actually tear this again because I want to make, I'm going to trim a little bit off here first. Pop that there. I want to just take a little bit off that. So I'm just using a little mini cutter there. So I want that to be slightly narrower. And now I'm going to, I don't know whether you can see, but this has actually got like a furry side. Depending on how you tear something, is to the look that you get. Now, if you want to sort of like have a really sort of rough, soft furriness to your cardstock when you tear, you actually tear forward to yourself. So this is the front, and I want to have this, it's almost got like a velvety type edge. It's where, I'm just trying to work out if I've got a piece of scrap. So I can show you what I mean. Okay, so we might see it better on this. So if I tear this towards me, you get a very sort of soft, because you're sort of tearing and you're tearing the layers. So the layers become almost layered down. So you've sort of got this little bit of a velvety way. Now if I tear this away from me, so this is again, this is my top, my front. And if I tear it away from me, I'm discarding this piece here, which is the piece with that nice velvety edge on it, but I end up with just like almost a one-sided tear. So that's how you get your different tears. So if you work out which is your front, so which is going to be your front of your card. So if you tear it towards yourself, you're going to get this really nice textured tear. If you tear it away or down, you're going to get like a, you'll still get your nice torn line, but it's a more of a solid edge tear. You don't get that sort of textured sort of tear. And I like to, with this card we're doing today, I want this textured sort of tear. So I'm going to tear this a little bit more because I want a bit more of this blue underneath showing through. And what you can also do too, if you wanted to, is, let me see if I can grab my crumb cake. Sorry, it's just out of arm's reach. Got it. So what you can also do is grab your crumb cake and you can grab a sponge. Now I know we don't sell these anymore, but it's just what I've got handy. And I can sponge that on there as well. And that's actually going to just enhance that nice torn edge. And I'm actually going to go all the way around in my crumb cake. Just give that edge, cut edge, really nice. And what you could also do is just very softly go over the top of that and that's just going to really enable that background to really pop. So you can really now start seeing that embossing. Okay, so that's all I want to do because I don't want to make it all look too uniformed. And I'm going to adhere that onto there. And now we're just going to layer up some of these little pieces here. So I'm just going to pop. The easiest way to do this is to grab a piece of scrap of cardstock, put a little bit of glue onto the end there, and just gently run that through. And that's just going to put a little bit of glue on the back there. I'll just use a pair of tweezers. Just remembering this piece is actually quite delicate. Pop that down onto there. All I wanted that piece underneath in the cork was just to really to give a little bit of a difference in texture. So we're just going to, still trying to work out which, okay, I think I'm just going to do the same. The wheat. Don't mind if bits and pieces are actually lifting a little bit. This one I can just take it directly. There's plenty of space there to just to put a little bit of glue. Just don't put too much on there. You don't want it oozing out. It's going to go there. Okay, we need some dimensionals for the back of that one. pop that down, and then I can work out where that ribbon is going to sit. And we need glue dots. Oh, I don't know whether you can hear that, but that's my cat outside sounding like someone's trying to strangle him. He wants to come in. Okay, we'll add a glue dot on the back of that. I might just add a second one just to make sure that we've actually got that well and truly adhered. Yes, got those. Just tuck those a little bit underneath. Okay. And do we need to add a little bit more into this? I don't think so. I think I'm going to leave them off today. Sometimes less can be more. But there you go. There's my card. Made very much on the spur of the, well, not so much the spur of the moment, but just really, yeah, unplanned. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you like seeing some of the products that I've purchased. Getting closer to Christmas, I'll probably start purchasing some of the Christmas stock. But for the moment, I think I'm going to have fun playing with some of these. So I hope you've enjoyed watching today. Let me just flip the camera over. Won't be one moment. Yes, Sharon, freestyling it. Not something I usually like to do. I'm sort of always a bit wary about making a mistake, but I suppose it's only really me and me and me that's going to know if I made a mistake or not. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the card today. Remember, if you don't have a demonstrator and you do want a copy of the catalogue and you live here in Australia, please just contact me at michelle@jutrissa.com. Quite easy. It's just my first name and my surname. And leave me your address, and I will, or even leave me a message here on my Facebook page, and I will get a catalogue out to you as quickly as I can. So have a lovely day. Stay warm. It's a little bit warmer here than normal, than what we've had in the last few days. The last few days it's probably only reached about 3 or 4 around about midday. Today is supposed to be a little bit warmer than that, so should be a nice day to head outdoors soon. So have a great day, have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye for now.